California Congressman Khanna, member of the House Committee on Oversight and Deputy Whip of the Progressive Caucus, and John Soltz, chairman and co-founder of VoteVets.org and a two-tour Iraq war veteran. I'm coming right back to you, John, but I'm going to ask you, Khanna, as I put it back up there again. I'm going to put this little chart back up that our wonderful producer put together. Medicare, $47 billion. Veterans benefits, $12 billion right before Memorial Day. Have your colleagues on the other side of the aisle explained to you what they do intend to tell their constituents about why they get to go home and chill and their constituents, including veterans on Memorial Day weekend, won't get their checks next week?
Joy, it's a sad situation. They don't care. They don't care about the harm they're doing because this is a manufactured crisis, as you've said. They are holding the country hostage to enact radical policies that they know they can't win in an ordinary debate. They can't win it in an election, so this is their tactic. And we need to call them out on that. And thankfully, this president is acting responsibly to make sure we don't default.
You know, the company Fitch, which basically rates U.S. credit, they're doing what your credit card company would do if you said, you know what, I'm not paying these bills because my spouse and I couldn't agree on what we're going to spend next year for Christmas. They've already said, yeah, we're gonna cut your your credit rating, which is what any creditor would do. I just want to put up this chart here. This is how the debt has increased, right? And how the debt limit has increased over time, going all the way back to the Reagan era. It just goes up, 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 up. And the Republicans in Congress kept voting for that and that and that, and they did it every year. There it is. There's the chart. It just goes up, up, up. Because, John Soltz, that is how American credit works. You do the spending, and then you have to go back and pay the credit card bill. And this budget is a completely separate thing. It has nothing to do with the debt limit. They are separate things. As a veteran, is your head exploding listening to people debate and, quote unquote, negotiate over two separate things and combining them and putting veterans' checks at risk?
But, you know, generally speaking, it's always hurtful when Republicans vote for essentially every war and you know, $100 billion a year of funding. But we never take into consideration what those costs are going to be over the long term. And so to be held hostage and see veterans benefits held hostage, it's serious stuff. Service-connected veterans who are 100% disabled, having their checks threatened, active duty service members, members of the military reserve, Gold Star families and survivor benefits. These are all practical things. And when you listen to Marjorie Taylor Greene on the lead-in, it's like, you know, she lives on Pluto. Like, of course, these are issues that regular people are nervous about. And so I think, you know, I can't sit here and tell you every veteran understands why the debt crisis is happening, but they're going to understand when they don't get their check. And they're not going to get their check because the Republican Party in 2023 is a pro-war, anti-military, anti-veteran party. And that's the reality of what we're dealing with. And Congressman Khanna on the committee and the rest of the committee, Chris DeLuzio and others have just done a phenomenal job of holding Republicans accountable for using veterans as a brokerage chip. Even Jen Kiggins, the new Republican congressman in the 2nd Congressional District of Virginia, said, this is the only bargaining chip we have. And that is extraordinary that they openly admit that they're using disability payments and military pay to hold hostage the rest of the country on this debt deal.
It is bananas, Congressman, because they're literally saying that as John Soltz said, they're saying we're just going to not pay the veterans in our own states. These red states have disproportionate numbers of veterans, of active duty military. They're literally saying we won't pay them because their assumption is those people are conservative. They'll just blame Biden. Texas has 21,000 people who receive federal financial support who are veterans. California's a big state. They've got the next biggest. Look at Florida. Look at North Carolina. Look at Ohio. Congressman, they are literally threatening to take the checks, the food out of the mouths of their own constituents to own the libs and to take away, you know, Meals on Wheels and Head Start. It makes no sense.
Joy, you're right. And John, thank you for your service to our country and for being such a voice of clarity, here is what is so frustrating and sad. The Republicans will take away the benefits from veterans who risk their lives for this nation, but they're unwilling to take away the obscene profits of defense contractors. 60 Minutes did a documentary just this week, $100 billion plus that is being wasted because defense contractors are ripping us off. They don't want to talk about that, but they want to take away money from the veterans, from the people who put on the uniform. They want to take away the money from the most vulnerable. Their values are just out of whack.
I mean, John Soltz, they have taken the Pentagon off the table. They've also taken getting rid of loopholes for the super rich off the table, leaving only things that also a lot of veterans, are not making, lots and lots of money. If you're a veteran that's also working, among the working poor, and you're working as a clerk or something, they're saying they want to make you work longer hours in order to get your check that you're due. Let me just play this for you, because what I think really galls me the most is that the White House doesn't even have to do this. Let me play Jamie Raskin and what he said on this show this week.
We've got the Constitution on our side, and the 14th Amendment says that the validity of the public debt shall not be questioned, which to my mind means that forced to the edge by these MAGA extremists, the president has no other choice but to respect the laws of the country and pay our bills to the Social Security recipients, the Medicare recipients, veterans, and the bondholders of the country.
John, in your mind and in the minds of the people that you served with, should the White House just stop negotiating with these people and just pay the bills?
I'm not quite sure. I don't. If the White House doesn't negotiate, then everything's going to be in chaos. And I think the problem here is the speaker doesn't have control of his own party. So even when we kind of beat them up really bad on the 22% cut to the VA, and they sort of have backed off some of that, if we default, everything's in play. So everybody gets hurt, right? In addition to that, now all of these other issues are complicated because there's a lot of veterans on active or military active duty that uses food stamps. There's a lot of veterans that use Meals on Wheels. So it's sort of like a surgical conversation. And, without debating the merits of debt, the ramifications of how people are going to get hurt is tremendous. So they can sit here and say now, okay, we're backing off the 22% cut to the VA, which is sort of the anticipated cut. But if we default, everyone's crushed. And so I think, look, the concern is going to be where's the House versus the president on what deal the president cuts, right? And I think, that's a debate that Congressman Khanna, I'm sure, is, very familiar with as we all are watching the numbers in the next few hours. But for practical people and practical veterans, veterans outperformed for Joe Biden by 12 points compared to Hillary Clinton. It was a constituency where Democrats began to make up ground. It hurts my heart that the American Legion and the VFW do not attack Republicans in election campaigns for doing this, and they continue to get away with it. So even though they've said they're not going to do certain cuts, they're still trying to make burn pit cuts and make funding go from mandatory to discretionary. So there's a variety of engineering that they're making. So the negotiation is extraordinarily important from the White House to ensure that, they don't give the House away and all of these Americans are going to get crushed and hurt. Because you can get crushed by a shutdown, but you can also get crushed by the cuts.
Absolutely. And Khanna, do you feel that the White House is talking enough to your caucus, because you're representing the people, by and large, who are going to get really hurt and who they're targeting for the cuts?
Joy, they are in touch. Here's what's sad. The Republicans are taking advantage of this president's decency, of his sense of compassion, of his patriotism, of his sense of duty. There's one person in the United States of America who's responsible to make sure the economy doesn't crash, and that's Joe Biden. And they're holding him and the country hostage. And we need to be very clear that this is not the president or the White House's fault. This is the Republicans manufacturing the crisis. I support this president, and we're going to back him up to make sure that he does not hurt vulnerable people. But let's just understand what they're doing, the Republicans are doing, to take advantage of a person who's very decent and trying to just make sure this country stays afloat.
We will continue to watch this, and a happy Memorial Day. We'll see how things go. And thank you. I will join in thanking you for your service, John Soltz, Congressman Khanna and John Soltz from Vote Vets. Thank you both. Up next on the ReidOut.